There is a lot going on in your world, a lot, but it's not an outside world. I think your external world, to be honest, is pretty much under your control, which is where that you like it. It's just you're disappointed with it. You aren't really necessarily happy with what you're controlling, which is messing up your, or excuse me, not necessarily what you're controlling, what you're having to respond to, or sort of there's disappointment. There's disappointment with what's going on. It's not necessarily out of your hands. It's definitely in your hands. I just think it's reflecting back on you, like you're feeling very disappointed in yourself for this is what I'm dealing with, and so much sort of like prevalent being in your mind. But why did I choose these things? Why did I want these things? It's very self-defeating to think this way and to feel this way. But that's kind of like the theme of this week is self-defeating and self-sabotaging, but self-sabotaging to sort of question and learn and understand like what we're going through. It's like, are we going to love ourselves for everything that we are, or are we going to just cut ourselves up into bits and pieces and sort of refuse to accept all of ourselves? And that's not the right answer, right? We already know that that's not the right answer. There is definitely something going on, maybe rumors spreading, gossip and shit spreading, things, or you being worried that rumors are spreading or gossip and shit is spreading about stuff that you'd rather keep private. Because honestly, it was something that was well intended. It was something that you were doing because you wanted to feel connected. You were looking for love. You were looking for love as in romance, or love as in connection, or love as in purpose. You were looking for those things and then made a bad decision, right? Or found yourself in a bad position that you don't even know. Maybe you didn't even realize that you were putting yourself there. But ultimately, you guys have been through a lot over the past 3 months. We've been talking about this for a while. You're still very much in a compromised position with Chiron. You're now trying to kind of get things working and functioning and support the sun and your life and your goals. But ultimately, Chiron's riding your ass, trying to be like, yeah, but are those the things that you really want? And are you doing the things that actually are getting you what you really want? And constantly feeling some sort of disruption in your internal world. And it's not very easy to deal with. In fact, I think it's in some ways for you, not really. The caveat here may be that you're starting to implode a little bit, and that's not a judgment. It's a reaching out. It's an empathy. I mean, I laugh, but like, welcome to the water sign world. This is the constant state of our brains, constantly imploding, living in this internal world, feeling too much and not knowing what to do with it. So it's interesting how this positioning has put you into a very watery state of being, but that's not who you are, right? And that's I think what's upsetting you most is this isn't who I am. You know, when did I start second guessing myself? When did I start doubting myself so much? When did I start not being able to trust in the circumstance or the situation? Why am I not as happy as I want to be? The answer to that question is simply that you are really being way too critical of yourself. You are being a very harsh judge of your situation. And instead of focusing on the situation at hand and how to handle it, you are allowing it to be a moral and ethical judgment against your own character. And you're doing this to yourself. It's all very internal. Now, to a certain degree, being introspective is very good because it can teach us a lot about ourselves and help us accept different aspects of ourselves, help us realize things that empower us to make our life better. But when it goes over that point of understanding and learning and educating, and it goes into that realm of judgment and depression even, okay, now we're in a troublesome zone, right? So ultimately, it's interesting, but and you're just not built to really let go. You're built to fuel. You're built to drive. You're built to do. Okay, so do this. Love yourself. Have a sit down, man. Have a powwow. And accept that even though your life didn't look as perfect as you wanted it to or match up to all your plans and ideals, You know, you cannot be the tyrant in your life that sits back and said the micromanaging boss, you know, that's all tyrannical. And just because something was 2 minutes late, you're not even going to accept it. Remember those teachers in college that we had? It's like something was 2 minutes late so that they wouldn't accept it. What kind of draconian fucked up mindset is that? Especially to apply to yourself. Yes, some disappointing things have happened. Things that made you realize certain aspects of yourself. But you know what? A fucking one-night stand that led to an STD that shouldn't be making you feel disgusting about yourself. It should be making you realize I have to take better care of myself. I deserve better than this. And there is better out there for me. I still have breath in my lungs, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that that's where you're all at. This is my metaphor, right? You know, maybe you're a mom and, you know, you got in trouble with the school because you forgot to pick your kid up. You were an hour late in the bus line, right? In the pickup line. I've done that as a busy mom, as a single mom. I did that a couple of times to my poor child. He was the one like standing around with teachers, or they had to take him back into the office, you know, to wait, and they couldn't reach me because my cell phone had died, or I didn't have money, so it had been turned off. I mean, yeah, man, yeah. And ultimately, there is just that as much as that could disappoint you in yourself, it is not death and judgment, and it is criticism coming from other people, which is making you feel worse and making you feel even more embarrassed. A sense of other people making judgments about your character, or talking about you, or talking about you badly, and you not really wanting to get out, right? But ultimately it shouldn't. If something fucked up has happened, that ultimately it shouldn't be talked about. It shouldn't be anybody's business. But there's also a sense of trying to contain it so much that you're actually putting energy into the containment of it, because it's and in putting energy into the containment of it, you're actually putting energy into the shame of it. And shame is definitely not what you deserve right now, especially coming from yourself. Other people, fuck them. You can't even control you can't control them. You really can't. People will try to shame you. They're going to try to make you look bad, but don't believe them. Believe them about, that's what it means about their character. Now I know who you are. Now I know what you're about, but not about your character. You know, the only reason why you even let this get to you is because you're the primary one shaming yourself. You're the one. And then that's why other people, you're like allowing them to fuck with you. And they know, like, that's what happens, man. When strong people get into a vulnerable position, all those weak motherfuckers just line up to kick them. It's like they can't wait, because they know when else are they going to get a kick in? You know what I'm saying? Like when? You're usually too powerful and strong. But that's that low vibrational shit. And that's who you're hanging out with. Not maybe really, not sitting at the lunch table with them, you know, during your lunch break. But that's who you're hanging out with when you're kicking yourself. That's who you're being when you're kicking yourself. Listen, you got into this situation because you just wanted to be connected. You wanted to explore love. You wanted to see the opportunities. You wanted to see the possibilities. And maybe, you know, you that's vulnerable. That's a vulnerable position, but it's also a brave position, man. It's also brave. And if things don't work out well, that's not the time for shame to set in. That's the time for like, okay, but I did it. And I tried. And not only did I try, forget about try. Do or do not. There is no try. We're not going to try and fail. We're going to try and learn. That's what we're going to do. We're going to learn from those things that didn't work out. And I don't want to build up the pride and say, don't acknowledge your failures. No, acknowledge your failures, because sometimes we fail, but don't internalize them. Like, oh, this is what it means about me. Because then you're getting on those weak, nasty people's side, and you're doing to you what they're trying to do to you, which is kick you when you're freaking down. And that's the last thing that you need right now. You need to get back on your own side. I failed. Yes, absolutely, I failed. What did I learn from it? What did I learn from it? And you know what? You're right. People don't need to be talking about your shit. But don't put so much effort into keeping it private that you actually feed into the shame of it. That's what I'm saying. And there's a little, you know, that fine line that we skate on. That's kind of the one you're skating on right now, right? They don't need to be all up in your business. They don't need to be all up in your business. And call them out on it the way that you do when you're you, right? Be like, why are you in my business? Why you need to talk about my life? Where's your pussy been? Where's your dick been? Huh? I'm sorry, what was that? What was that? Maybe it's not been anywhere because nobody wants your ass? Get in your place. Because you're not messing here. You're not messing with me. Like, that's sort of like, get back on your Aries throne. You know what I'm saying? Listen, and Aries was retrograde for almost 3 months. It was easy to get off that throne. And in fact, it was right. It was time to get off that throne. It was time to accept another mentality, you know? But listen, this is change. These two cards come up, right? Change. She looks really aggressive and fierce. And I always relate this card to energy, Aries, because you're aggressive, you're fierce, and that's beautiful about you. But she's actually, the strength that she's showing, this knife, isn't to cut somebody else. It's to cut the ties that bind her to old ways that don't work for her, right? And it's like, listen, say you're one of those scenarios, you got yourself an STD. Okay, guess what? I'm not going to feel dirty and disgusting because they're common, but I am going to take stock and be like, okay, should I treat myself better? Yes. Okay. Should I make better decisions? Yes. Okay. And that's how you learn and build and improve. And that's the mindset that's best to get back into. But there's this trust that has to happen. That sense of, do people even love me? Do people even want me around? I feel dirty, or I feel, this is all metaphorical. I'm not saying this has happened to all of you, but I'm feeling, but that's your emotions, man. That's your emotions that are tying you up and not letting you see Jesus still loves your ass. And even if you're not Christian, don't matter. I'm not Christian. But when I mean Jesus, I mean the ancestors, the energy, angels, they're still there the whole time. They have not gone anywhere, man. They still want you and will see you as that beautiful, innocent child that was born into the world, because that's what your soul is. They see you as a soul. So ultimately, I'm saying that something can corrupt your body without corrupting your soul. Because your soul, you always have ownership with, and you always have unconditional love. So what can corrupt your soul? Fear, shame, condemnation, self-judgment. All of those things can start to corrupt the soul. So really what we're doing is we're protecting the soul. We're protecting the essence of you. Yes, I know the body, of course, is very important, right? It's the temple that we live in. But ultimately, if something happens, or maybe you didn't even, sometimes it's like, you'll blame yourself for doing something wrong, right? But really is like, even in the metaphor of like sleeping with the wrong person and getting an STD, that's not doing something wrong. That happens. That's just a mistake, right? But also it's like, you're going to be hard on yourself even if you didn't make a mistake, right? Even if you're like running a race and like tripped because there was a rock that wasn't supposed to be there and now your leg is broken. You're sitting there hating yourself and feeling stupid. I should have been stronger. I should have been better. I should have been beyond this or above this. No. Because something bad happened to you, because there was a setback in your life, that doesn't mean that you were bad or wrong or somehow not worthy. Those things are not the same thing, man. They're not the same thing. Decide the outcome and spread the light comes in to let us remember that you're your own judge and jury. You're the one setting the tone for how everybody else treats you. And I'm telling you, if you have started to get people around you thinking they can talk about you, it's because you're setting the pace. You're the cardinal sign, man. You're the cardinal of all cardinals. You're setting the sign. You're the first house. You're the one defining how people get to treat you based on how you're treating yourself. So all that chatter and all that shit is coming from the fact that you've actually, it's just almost like a projection of what's been going on inside. How they're talking about you is how you've been judging yourself. And the change is absolutely within your wheelhouse to change, to control, and be like, you know what? I gotta love me even when I'm not so proud of me. I gotta love me unconditionally because like my mama would love me, And then this is you spreading the light, it extending from you and how you decided to treat yourself. Your dreams need a practical plan. Okay. This is moving forward. In other words, find that solid ground, the energy of finding solid ground beneath your feet and getting pragmatic about these things and not allowing the superfluous to infest your mind. Nothing is yet set in stone. So all of this negative outcome or impact, especially if other people are trying to like get up on you now, like, do you harm or get one over on you, right? Nothing has been decided yet. They are not as powerful as they think. right? This is definitely, you still have an opportunity to switch everything around, not in terms of reputation, but in terms of how you feel about feeling good with life. Things are still developing right now. This is not the death and judgment toll, right? Nothing will come of this situation. There's your answer, man. It's like it's gonna end. The end is near, and not in a bad way, in a good way where eventually everything will be fixed. Everything will be fixed and go back to normal. Not normal, but go back to a place of you feeling good about yourself again. So I got a few of these cards, these Rebel deck cards, and let me tell you, they're my favorite deck. I'm just gonna, this is definitely Aries energy. Fuck, shit is about to get real. That's what came out for you. Fuck, you need your people around you. Shit is about to get real. Okay? What does that mean? Call in the tribe, man. Call in the tribe and connect with those people who love you unconditionally and remind you of the value of your soul, of reflections on the outside of people who love you the way the universe loves you, which is unconditionally. Money, honey, make it rain. That's also something about what is happening. You could be building something, building a business, trying to build up a reputation, but you have to build it up honestly and with faith in yourself and with respect for yourself. Okay? You equals tight ass. Right? Loosen the fuck up, control freaks. Don't get laid. Don't get laid. Wow, that's what it says right there. You equals tight ass. Loosen the fuck up, control freaks. Don't get laid. So it's basically about owning your own power, but also respecting yourselves. Like allowing there to be this idea of fluidity and sort of wiggle room for learning. Right? And then love. Get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. And this is just a beautiful reflection of like, as without, so within. You know, if you're able to share love, then you're going to receive it, right? Or put yourself around the people that love you the most, that you feel most loved by, and then you'll be filled up and you'll have love to give. But allow yourself to be like around those people, to admit, instead of being prideful, admit, I actually am emptied right now. I'm kind of feeling emptied. So what I need right now is to be around my people. You know, a lot of you could feel very isolated right now at this moment of your life. And what you need is to be around your people. Okay? Let's go into your animal totem spirit guide messages. Aries, 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 Aries. Aries, 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 Aries. Oh, okay. Let's see. First, we have take the lead. So A, you are loved and you need to realize it. But also B, this is very powerful. It's almost like spirit is going to, in some ways, appear to you on earth in a form of a person that you love, in the form of a message, in the form of a movie that you watch, to let you know, I love your ass. What the hell were you thinking? Of course I do. And so you can then demonstrate that love that's been given to you in how you treat yourself, how you value yourself. This is also a sense of being crowned with some sort of leadership position. The universe saying, yeah, you will succeed. This is you're going to get a raise, or you're going to get a promotion, or people will see your dignity. They'll see your integrity. They'll see your true intentions, and they'll see your talents. Absolutely. You're going to get that prize. You're going to get a reward. And I think maybe the problem is you haven't yet. So you're almost feeling like, okay, it's never going to happen. I'm a failure. But impatience has been a big thing, especially during retrograde when everything is so slowed and you can't move forward. So for you, it's going to be it's a big thing to be like, yeah, I mean, you were set back for a while. So no, you really shouldn't be as far ahead as you think you should. You should accept your current position and know it's already slated, man. People have already seen how wonderful and amazing you are. They really have. Lay a solid foundation. So right now, this is about the practical work. This time right now isn't about the rewards, right? It's about the practical work and the doing. So choose something that you love to do so that you'll get rewarded as you lay this solid foundation, that everything that you do now is an act of love and devotion to your heart song, to what it is you really believe in life, right? A salute to yourself and your true ethics. Coyote. This is Sagittarius season, so this is basically laying a solid foundation in a very chaotic time. So how do you do that? Get really good at improvisation. You know what I'm saying? Engineers run into issues all the time. They'll design a bridge perfectly, and then, oh, we hit a rock we didn't fucking know was at 300 feet down in this riverbed, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's kind of what it is. It's an act of engineering improv right now. So you will come up against some bumps and bruises, but answer it with pragmatism and hard work, and you'll get to exactly where you need to go. This and that are true. A lot of this is going to be playfulness, happiness, seeing other people's perspectives, honoring their perspective, and understanding that two different things, actually, in other words, not necessarily seeing an enemy, but seeing, oh, a person who just doesn't believe the same things as I do. So being more malleable, flexible in your mind is going to help you a lot right now. And then last but not least, you are never alone. So you are loved, and love coming into your life, also sensuality coming into your life. And I'll tell you this right now, because it came after the Coyote card, this shit is going to be a surprise to you. And it should be. You should be right now building your life. You should be committed right now to building up yourself, and let the love surprise you. But it's so interesting how when you're investing in yourself, the world sends you somebody who really, really, really appreciates you. That's interesting. So yes, the extended is below, but stick around for some angel readings. I would love to share them with you. This is your angel readings. Oh, Aries, if you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. New Aries content gets released every single Thursday, but there's lots of great content because you might want to check out your sun, your moon, and your rising sign, right? So that's all being released between 5 and 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, no, Tuesday through Friday on the channel. Also, join me for Instagram. On Instagram, I do live feeds, daily tarot card readings Monday through Friday, and we can interact over there. And then last but not least, when you go to the extended over on Vimeo, you can also subscribe over on Vimeo. So then you'll get access like a day in advance to all the extended readings, which are more in depth and more personal because they're articulated not with oracle cards, but they're articulated with tarot, which gets very specific. So let's see what came out for your angel cards. Do it now. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition. See, something's about to start for you. Something's about to start off. And the reason why you hesitated was because you're not feeling like you actually deserve it, or you're worried, will this just be another failure? No, it will not be. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it is the guiding voice of your soul. Truth. The best way through the current situation is just to speak your truth. Contrary to what you may think, no one will be hurt if you express exactly how you feel. That means getting behind yourself, right? Believing in yourself enough to be able to share your truth. Not being afraid of your truth. Imagine. Clearly visualize the life you want. Feel it in your heart and soul, and so it will come to be. I'm telling you. Oh my God, this is actually a great time for you. And last but not least, vision. A positive outcome requires a positive vision. Visualize everyone involved in your present situation surrounded by light and love. Make sure to include yourself also. Your love has the power to influence and transform current events. I'll see you guys in the extended. The link is below over in tarot. Let's articulate this shit. See you there.